to. My parents still own an encyclopedia, a real encyclopedia, not something you find online that claims Bigfoot invented the light bulb. I'm talking about a collection of 400-pound book full of stuff you never wanted to know until your teacher assigned a research paper about it. I'm glad my parents still have them because they make a solid thump that's perfect for the sound of toms, the drums mounted on the top of the bass drum. They meld flawlessly with an old, falling apart Calvin and Hobbes book that I use as a snare. It's a paperback, so it makes a nice high-pitched thwap when I hit it. A huge, and I mean really huge, dictionary is my bass drum. So I put it on the floor under my computer desk, and I stomp it with my Converse All-Stars whenever I need a quick whomp. My computer desk is kind of funny because it doesn't have a computer on it. My parents call it a homework desk to make me feel better about my lack of a computer, which seems totally lame to me, even if it is a pretty good place to do homework. It beats working in the kitchen where my younger brother Brian complains nonstop about how much homework third graders get. Whenever I go near Brian, he says, "Stop staring at me," and I say, "I'm not staring at you. I can see you can't, oh my gosh. Can you see me, right? Can you see me right now? Yes. How could you see me unless you're staring at me? If I was staring at you, my eyeballs would be on fire. Mom, Sam's staring at me. It's all down here from there." I've been calling my computer/homework desk my drum desk for 5 years, ever since I saw a drum solo by John Bonham from Led Zeppelin in an old music documentary. My brain exploded as his arms flew across the kit during the song Moby Dick. I went online and researched each piece of a standard drum set that night, memorizing the purpose and setup for each one. I learned that hi-hat is two cymbals that clamp together when the drummer presses a pedal, and the crash cymbal sounds just like its name, and the snare is the backbeat in rock music because it sounds like somebody getting punched in the face in a martial arts movie. I told my dad about the John Bonham video and asked if he liked Led Zeppelin when he was younger. He laughed and said, "Would you still like him if I told you he died from drinking vodka for 12 hours straight?" I didn't know how to respond. I get what he was trying to say, but it's not like playing drums and having an alcohol problem are the same thing. My desk set has 2 levels, so I put the encyclopedia toms and the Calvin and Hobbes snare on the lower level. I pulled the latest edition of the Chicago Tribune out of the recycling bin and put that on the top shelf. The big fat Sunday paper is my crash cymbal, and the Monday and Tuesday papers are my ride and hi-hat. This is my homemade drum set, the only set my family can afford, and I make it work pretty well. Thank you very much, even if it just makes me imagine the real thing. Sometimes I put earplugs in to dampen the noise and make it sound thicker. If I hit as hard as I can almost hear what it would sound like if I was rocking out on a real set. That's usually when somebody barges in my room and tells me to knock it off. I can't exactly blame them. It's not a real drum set, so it can't be pleasant to listen to. I taught myself enough to get placed in Kennedy's symphonic band earlier in the year instead of beginning concert band, but I know that's not saying much. It's hard to get good at something all on your own. Today is nice because no one told me it, and I've been rocking out for a full 20 minutes when a thought enters my mind. Listen to the message. Find out what Dr. Pullman said so you can at least have an idea of how bad it's going to be. I stand up from my drum desk and walk downstairs, the wooden steps creaking and the railing rattling. I pick up the phone and listen for the double click of the dial tone that confirms that there is a new message. I punch in the 4-digit password and I hit 1 to hear the new message, and I hear Dr. Pullen's voice. "Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Morris. This is Daniel Pullen from Kennedy Middle School calling about a lunchroom incident this afternoon that involved your daughter. Please call me back whenever it is convenient to do so. I can be reached at..." Dr. Pullen rattles off a number, but I'm not listening. He wants to have a personal conversation with my mom and dad. That's not good. They'll be mad at me for being inconvenienced. Not my mom so much, but my dad, oh man, you don't want him mad. You pretty much lose every privilege you can imagine, even if it's only a little bit of your fault. Even if you just lost control for a split second. Even if you felt totally humiliated. There's a loud beep signaling that Dr. Pullen's message is over, followed by a computerized female voice that says, "Press 7 to save this message. Press 9 to delete this message." I pulled the phone away from my ear and tried to come up with a way to explain this to my dad. I don't want him any madder at me than he already is. He spent the whole school year fielding calls about how I'm falling behind and not taking middle school seriously, and how I'm still think I'm a fifth grader or something. It's late March, and a little over 2 months from now, it will be summer. And I'll be free from the pressure and the agony of school. Free to enjoy Kristen's annual pool party in early June and a summer full of wild, crazy fun after that. Can't I manage to take it 2 more months without getting into any more trouble with my dad? The computerized voice says, "Please make a selection. Press 7 to save this message. Press 9 to delete this message." My hand shakes, but I slowly bring my index finger down. It lands on the number 9. "Your message has been deleted." I hang up the phone and run back upstairs, trying to forget the message ever existed, because as far as anyone besides me and Dr. Pullen knows, it never really did.